Hello students. Today we are going to be going over 2.2, Domain and Range of Relations. So our objective is I can identify the domain and range in a relation. So domain is the set of values of the independent variable for which a function or relation is defined. And typically it's basically your x values. Your range is the complete set of all possible resulting values of the dependent variable, and that's usually y, after we have substituted in the x values. So again, the range is the resulting y values we get after putting in possible x values. Okay. Also, when you're looking at a graph for the domain, you want to look left to right of the graph, and for the range, you want to look bottom to top. Okay. So I was reading on page 42 in your colored packet. You can kind of look over that and see the different types of like discrete relations here. So they can be graphs, ordered pairs, they can be in tables, and they can be in mappings like that. So here, give the domain and range of the relation, and basically you put them in roster notation where you have the curly brackets, and then all the very first numbers will be the domain from least to greatest. And then the range is going to also be least to greatest with the curly brackets. That's how you give the domain and range of each relation in this type of when it's a discrete relation here. Okay, next we're going to move on to, I thought there was one thing on page 43 I wanted to cover. Okay, different types of continuous relations, again, are here where they're curvy lines, straight, curves. These are all continuous because there's some type of line in there. This is also continuous here. And when you have a continuous notation, domain and range are in interval notation. Notice that as opposed to over here, where it's discrete function and you use roster notation. Okay. So if we look on page 44 at the bottom, number 7, it's a continuous relation. So we're going to put the domain and range in interval notation. Remember, interval notation was, and I think you can still see that pretty good. Interval notation is going to be, we're going to have some sort of brackets or parentheses and maybe a union. But here, domain, we're going to look left to right, and we're going to say this can go from negative infinity to positive infinity. So again, when you put infinity, you want the lowest number and then the highest number. And you put parentheses for infinity because you can never quite reach there. The next one, we want to put the range, lowest to highest. Okay, this is going to go low to high. Guess what? It's going to be the same, negative infinity, positive infinity. Okay, and there you have it. All right, now we're going to go on to number 8 on that same page. So I'm going to look for my range domain first. So I look, what is the lowest number on my x value, left to right? Right there, it's -1. And does it include -1? Yes, it does. So I'm going to put a bracket, -1, and it goes all the way up to, I believe it's +5. And it does include 5. Now range, I'm going to look at the lowest one here. And that looks like it's -3, and yes, it includes -3. And it goes all the way up to +3, I believe, and includes that. So there you have your domain and range for number 8. Okay, next we're going to go on to number 9. So for number 9, we are going to say our domain equals, okay, our domain, we're looking left. It's going to be interval notation when I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I draw that right? Yes, I did. And it includes -4. And it goes all the way up to eternity. So again, for the domain, I'm looking left to right. So I put infinity there. Next, I put the range here. So I'm looking my lowest and highest. Oh, there's only one value for my range, and that is 3. So I use curly brackets. It's not an interval, simply one number. And that's what I do there. Okay, next I'm going to bring in number 10 over here, and I went ahead and put my points where these were at, so it'd be easy for me to tell. If I look from left to right, my lowest number is -5. So for my domain, it's going to be an interval. So -5, it's an open dot, so it doesn't include that. So it's a parenthesis, -5, and it goes all the way up to here, +6. That's left to right. Now for my range, I'm going to go down here at the bottom. And I'm going to say, oh, it goes from -2 all the way up to 5. And does it include -2? Yes, because it's a colored dot. All the way up to 5. And it does not include 5 because it's an open dot. So again, left to right and then bottom to top. The last one is number 11 over here. So we say the domain here. So I look left to right. This is going to keep going up and up and up and up, which means it'll keep going left more and more and more. You will eventually get all of those numbers on the left side. This one, keep going right forever. So the domain is going to be -infinity, comma, +infinity. Then your range. Okay, now this is an exponential function, so I can tell that it's going to go start at the bottom. It won't ever pass -3, but it's going to get really close. So I'm going to go -3 right there, and then it's also going to go up to infinity. Okay. All right. Finish the couple left on this page and then do the white packet, page 25 and 26. You can do this, students. You rock.